Welcome to The Seeker's Hollow. I am Brian. Today we're going to be playing part 3 of the Terra Invictus campaign setting in the ShadowDark system as the Ranger and true solo. So just as the Ranger and his companion Sting, the Sting Bat. Where we left off last time, we had a crazy fight with the gelatinous ooze, and overall, it went fairly well, but one thing in that fight is that I interpreted stabbing damage to mean damage that is only done through like a stabbing melee attack, but I think that that may have also applied to a standard bow and arrow because stabbing, I'm guessing, also means piercing, but I personally have only ever seen it described as piercing, so that kind of threw me off, and I only played the stabbing rule with the attack from Sting with his beak. But yeah, I think it would also apply to arrows as well. But of course, the way that I would get around that in the future is I would have something like broadhead arrows that do slashing damage, or maybe bodkin arrows that are armor piercing or something like that. But I'm not going to generate that for this game, but that's definitely something that I would probably do in the future for a Ranger type character. But let's get on to what we are doing now in Cascais. Oh yeah, we also got chased by some crazy evil bats, and we were not able to camp or anything. It was very rude, very rudely awakened, and we almost died actually running away from the bat swarm. So thank you, Chubby Funster, for that. But yeah, we did make it back to Cascais. We definitely have the money that we need now to get some things going, which is excellent. And rather than rolling up a market district and all that kind of stuff, I just went ahead and tallied up everything that I wanted to buy. And I have already spent the gold and have already updated our inventory. We got a long sword, a shield, we got some rations, we got a grappling hook, a rope, some more torches, topped up our arrows. We got a backpack and some stuff for Sting. So Sting can actually carry 3 things. So he's got some rations and he's got 2 torches in his little backpack there. And we are going to do something that I've actually never done in any solo session as far as I can remember. I have never done a paid training event where you pay to do training and you can get experience. And also, speaking of experience, I gave Sting and Boros, I gave them 2 XP each for getting all that gold, that 340 something gold that we got from the well. So they both have a little bit of experience now, and we're gonna roll this training event. And yeah, Cascais is a mercantile city, and it has all kinds of people from all over the place. And I think it's kind of a foregone conclusion that there would be at least a standard market with a standard shop or something that has all your adventure gear. So I just went ahead and did all of that off camera, but we're going to roll for the fun part, which is the training roll, which we're going to be taking out of the GM companion for ShadowDark. And if you look in there, you have magical training and you also have combat training. And if you pay 100 gold, you can do an intense day of training on specific combat maneuvers and advanced techniques, which gives you a +1 bonus to roll on your training outcome table, which has some pretty cool rewards if you can get some of them. Now, some of them do have a reward where you get like a follower, like a knight or some kind of mercenary follows you around. And so if we get one of those, we'll convert that into something else because again, we're a true solo other than Sting. But yeah, let's see what we're going to get. We're going to roll a D8, and we do get a +1 because we paid the 100 gold for the intense training. So let's see how the training goes. Okay, we got a 2, and then that's going to go up to a 3. And it says that you were tricked into purchasing what appeared to be a magical weapon, but it was only an illusion. Lose 25% of your remaining gold pieces. Uh-oh, but we do gain 3 experience. Okay. I will actually... I'll actually trade that for 3 experience. That's not bad, but we're going to lose 25% of our gold here, which we've got like 214. So I guess you could say we'd lose about maybe 55 coins. So yeah, we'll just say something roughly like that. So I'm going to take 55 off of here. All right, so we're down to 164, and then that you get 100 gold you can carry for free, and then that 64 overflow is going to be an item slot for us until we actually get down below 100. So, okay, we lost a little bit of gold, but we are going to get 3 experience points, so we're going to go up to 5 experience. And, you know, we'll say that our buddy Sting did some training as well, so we'll give Sting, we'll just give him the 3 points as well. So Sting is now up to 5 doing his training. And Sting is only level 1, so if he can get 10 experience points, he can actually level up. So there is a little bit of a chance that we can do a level up maybe in this playthrough. But of course we are delivering Sting back to his home. And that's what we're going to get to now. And, you know, we'll go ahead and spend probably like 2 gold to rest for the night as well. So we rested for another night. We're down to 162 gold. And now we're going to go get on a ship, and we're going to chart a course to where we want to go. And it's generally going to be, let's see, I think it's about a few gold per how many hexes you'd want to go. All right, so it looks like it's about 1 gold per traveler per 3 hexes. And we would be looking to go somewhere in this area over here. I'm going to say probably 3821, I believe is what that one is. Yeah, so we're going to go to 3821, and that's going to be 6 hexes away. So that would be 4 gold, because we pay 2 gold for our ranger for Boros, and then we pay for Sting. And actually, you know what? I think the captain of the boat is going to look at Sting and he's going to say, if you want that thing on this ship, you're going to pay 5 gold for that. And I think we're going to have to do a charisma check, which actually you can do anyway on a water transport to see if you get a half price, which you can do on ground transport as well. So this is going to be a DC 12 charisma check. And we got a 6, so we did not pass. So we're going to pay 5 gold for Sting, and then we're going to pay the 2 gold for Boros. So we are now going to be down 7 more gold, so we're going to be at 155. So it's been an expensive couple days for us there. All right, so now we head out on the ship, and the ship is going to take us all the way across over to hex 3821, and it's generally about an hour per hex, so it's going to be about 6 hours. So we arrive in the kind of mid-afternoon, maybe about 3 p.m. We arrive over there. They take us on a small boat, and they drop us off in the hex of 3821. So let's see what we've got. And that's some scary looking things on the picture there. So I hope that's not going to be in this hex. All right, 3821. It's warm and muggy, and there is almost no breeze. There's an overcast sky, but no rain. This is the Marigold Hills. The gentle slopes of these foothills are brilliantly green and orange due to an abundance of marigolds. The coastal cliffs are gleaming white. So it's quite a beautiful hex, and it's a nice sight as we pull up and we find a little alcove and a way to kind of climb around the cliffs to get up to the area. And we'll say that there's already an established path, so we don't need to do a climbing check there. Now, we do have a discovery, which is going to be a DC 9 charisma check, so let's roll for that discovery and see what we get there. All right, so 18, we did pass that for sure. We also have a +1 bonus from our title, so we definitely passed it. Let's see what this discovery is. There is a thriving hobgoblin village along this coastline. Surrounded by a 10-foot high palisade wall, they mine chalk and quartz from the soft cliffs. They also engage in overland trade with other humanoids and across the sea by unique sailing vessels of their own design. All right. So we've got a hobgoblin village, and they do a little bit of mining and trading, and they have their own vessels. So that's pretty cool. All right. So we can see that there is a combat in a mine. So if we wanted to check out that mine, we would have to go through this combat first. So I think given that could be pretty deadly and it's not part of our mission, we're going to probably pass over that for this time. But we have a random encounter check every 2 hours, and the Hobgoblin Village, I don't know if they would allow us to stay there or not. They do engage in trade with other humanoids. So I guess they might be willing to let us stay, but you know what? I think it'd be a good time to do a reaction roll. And because they don't seem to be particularly hostile and they do engage in trade with others, we will do a +2 reaction roll, and based on that, it will determine if we think that we could actually stay there for the night. And that could help us to maybe be a little bit safer and not have to camp. So let's do a reaction roll with a +2. So it's going to be a 2d6 roll. And that's a 5, so that's going to be a 7, which is going to be suspicious. Okay, so we get the sense that they may not necessarily want to cause trouble for us, but they feel like we might cause trouble for them, and they would prefer to keep us at arm's reach. So we are not going to be staying there, and we need to make a check every 2 hours in this risky place. So being that we arrived there around 3 and we want to go camp, we would probably need to do 2 checks because would end up camping at like, say, 8 p.m. or something like that. So we're going to have to do a check at like 5 and then a check again at like 7. So let's do our first check here. And that's going to be a 3, which says a war party of 1d4 + 1 bugbears with heavy sacks for holding captives. Okay, so that does not sound good. And they are a war party. So let's roll for a reaction with them. And this is going to be a -4 reaction because obviously a war party holding sacks, in most cases, these guys are not going to be friendly. But if we're lucky, maybe they are just not interested in us for some reason. But this is going to be a -4 on this roll. So we're looking at, oh man, this is bad. Okay, so they are definitely hostile. And we need to figure out how many of these bugbears there's going to be. So I think it said 1d4 + 1. Okay, let's roll 1d4. And that is going to be 4. So we've got 4 bugbears. And we definitely want to try to escape from this. And so I think I will give Baros a chance to do a stealth check here. And if we can stealth, we'll be able to successfully hide from them. Because I think bugbears are not exactly the most stealthy and crafty, generally speaking. So maybe they're making plenty of noise and they're carrying some captives that are also making noise. So we're able to see them from a distance, but we will have to make a stealth check here to see if we can possibly avoid them. All right, so we are going to roll a dex check here. And we do get advantage on this due to being a ranger. So if we can pass this, we're able to successfully kind of blend in with the surroundings and let the bugbears pass without noticing. And this is going to be a DC 12 check. Ooh, okay, so even with advantage, I think we did not make it. That's going to be 10, 11 there. So no, we did not make it. Uh-oh, so they see us and we are going to need to roll initiative here. And I think we are definitely going to try to run away, but let's roll for initiative first. All right, and the bugbears are the red. We are the larger white die here, and we've got a 15, so we did do okay on the initiative. And we're going to make a double roll, and a double move, and then we need to make a contested dex check. So let's check out what their dexterity is. So the hobgoblins just have a flat dex. They do not have a bonus. So let's see if we can pass this contested dex check to run away from them. And 16 versus 15. So they're going to stay at the flat 15, and we actually would go up to an 18 with our +2 bonus. All right, so we are able to run away from the hobgoblins, and I am very thankful for that. All right, so we get away from the hobgoblins, and we spend a little bit of time looking for a place to camp, but we need to make another encounter roll just before we're able to do our camping, because we are in a risky hex here. So let's make another one, and that's going to be 5. There is a patrol of 2d4 hobgoblins scouting the area, and it says +2 reaction check. Okay, so this is going to be the hobgoblins, which are the ones from the town, and they are not necessarily trying to hurt us or anything, but you never know. So we're going to roll and give a +2. So that's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is going to put them at neutral. All right, so they will basically kind of just leave us alone as long as we don't bother them. So we see them there, and they see us, and they just kind of let us do our thing, since it appears that we are not threatening. So now we're going to camp, and we're going to eat a ration and burn a torch. So we're now down to 2 rations there, but we have a couple more in Sting's bag there. And then we're down to 3 torches total, which might end up being a little bit of a problem if we need to do a lot of camping. We will see. All right, so we wake up the next morning, and I think that this hex is pretty easy to travel through, so we should be able to travel outside of this hex within 4 hours. But we're going to need to make a navigation check now as we head over into the next hex up here, and that also looks a little bit mountainous. So that is going to be 3722. We're moving into 3722. Let's see if that one is mountainous, but we also need to go ahead and do our navigation check, which we do get advantage on due to being a ranger. And oh my god, that is 2 3s. So that's a really unlucky roll, and we're not going to succeed on our navigation. So what we'll do here is our target hex was 3722, so we're going to roll a 1d6, and we'll get a 1 to 3 we'll get 3721, and a 4 to 6 we'll get 3822. All right, so we're going to move over into hex 3721, which is going to be just basically just to the north of kind of where we intended to go. So 3721. So as we come into 3721, the skies are dark and drenched with rain, and there are powerful thunderstorms with crackling thunder. And we are in the Valley of the Mists. This is difficult terrain, deep, lush valley with thick, old-growth trees. It has a primeval feel, and the forest floor is covered in huge, rotting trunks, mushrooms, and churning with earthworms. All right, so this is a very rugged and tough place. And we have a discovery that we can do here, so let's roll a DC 9 charisma check for the discovery. And, well, we got a 9. So it says that there is an ancient temple complex in this hex that has sunken into the saturated ground over the course of several centuries. It's now flooded with groundwater, ranging from ankle depth in some places down to waist deep in others. All right, well, that is kind of interesting. We do have some potential treasure there, but we also have a combat that we'd have to resolve in order to get that treasure. And this is a risky hex, so we have a check every 2 hours. And due to the fact that this is difficult terrain, we are probably going to be here for a while. Yeah, so it's going to take us the entire day to walk across Hex 3721 due to the difficult terrain. So what that means is that we're going to have to do 4 random encounter checks. So this is going to be a bunch of checks here. And let's go ahead and go for our first check. And that is a 6. There is a massive dome pavilion made of blood red slate stones. I think we're going to pass on investigating the pavilion just due to the risky nature of the area that we're in. But certainly that's an opportunity for something interesting to happen. All right, we still need to make 3 more rolls as we cross the hex. That is a 1. There is a towering Tyrannosaurus bellows as it approaches the PCs. Okay, that is not good. So it's basically already approaching and dangerous. So I think in this case, we're going to have to go right into an initiative check here. So let's roll for initiative and look at the Tyrannosaurus stat block as well. Okay, so the Tyrannosaurus is a towering bipedal lizard with a massive head, jaws, and neck, and this is a formidable foe that will seriously chomp Boros and Sting, and we definitely want to run the hell out of here as fast as we can. So let's roll initiative, and I hope that we win the initiative. Okay, good. The Tyrannosaurus got a 1. And we got a 19, so we actually won about as good as you possibly could. So I think due to that, we're gonna do our double move, and then we're gonna do a contested dex check, and I'm gonna give advantage on that, just due to the fact that this is basically like kind of like a fumble here. So let's see. Oh my God! So the Tyrannosaurus got a 20, and unless we can roll a 20, it's not going to matter. Nope. Okay. Wow. That's bad. So this might be the end right here. The Tyrannosaurus is going to bite. And he's got a +8 and he gets to bite 3 times. So we might be dead. Let's roll for the Tyrannosaurus bite. So we got a 7, which with the +8, we're looking at 15, and that we'll assume that Boros has got his shield, and he would still be at 15. So this is still going to hit, and this is going to be a 2d12. So this is going to be really rough right here. And oh my gosh, a 12 and a 5, so 17 damage. And of course, we were back to full health, but we just took 17. So we are down to 5 health at this point. And the Tyrannosaurus still has 2 more attacks. So let's have the Tyrannosaurus attack again. And that is a 12. We've got 15, but he has a plus. He's got a +8 bonus, so yeah, we are hit again. And this is probably the end, guys. He got a 1 and a 5, so that's 6. And we're at 5, yep. So we are down. Sting is still alive, but the Tyrannosaurus has 1 more attack, so he could also hit Sting as well. And I'll roll for our death turns in a moment. But he's the Tyrannosaurus is also going to attack Sting. And he got a 7, which with his bonus is definitely going to be enough. So now he's going to bite Sting, and he bites Sting, and Sting is now dead because that is plenty of hit points to kill Sting. So Sting is gone. Poor Sting. All right, now we're going to roll for our death turns or death saves. So this is going to be 1d4 plus the con mod. And we got a 2, and then our con mod is 2, so we're going to get 4 rounds. And the way that I'm going to do that is the character can automatically stabilize if they get a 15 on the intelligence check, and we get 4 chances to do it, basically. So we would just stabilize. For true solo, I'll do it that we would stabilize at 1 hit point, basically, if we can stabilize. So we're going to get 4 chances to roll DC 15 here. And all right, we got a 20 right off the bat. So despite the horrible situation and the death of Sting, Barros is able to wake up, but of course he's going to play dead, and we'll have him do a stealth check because Tyrannosaurs are known to be, you know, if you've seen Jurassic Park, you know that if you don't move, they think that you're dead, right? So let's roll a stealth check, which we're going to have advantage on, and this will be a DC 12 stealth check. And we got a 2 and a 17. All right, so we do pass our stealth check. So we are basically playing dead and hoping that the Tyrannosaurus goes away. And we could give a death save roll to Sting as well. So let's do a roll for Sting, 1d4. All right, and Sting got a 4, and I don't think Sting has any con mod. No. So Sting is going to get 4 chances to roll DC 15. And that's an 11. And there's a 17. All right, so we both stabilize at 1 hit point. So let's put Sting down to 1. And this is where we can use our one of our ranger abilities here. And we can make a herbal remedy. So let's try to make a herbal remedy here. We've got to do an intelligence check, and if we can get high enough on the DC, we can make some pretty good stuff. So let's see what we get. 11. So we're going to get a salve, which heals 1 hit point. All right, so we'll go up to 2 hit points, and that's not really going to make that much difference in the short term, but any little bit helps. And we cannot do... let's see. If you fail, you can't make that remedy again until you successfully rest. Okay. How often can you do these checks, though? That's what I wonder, because I would like to make more. Maybe we'll say it's like 1 per hour. So we're going to roll. We're going to roll. Well, if we do that, then we're not going to be traveling, and we definitely want to get out of this hex as fast as we can. So we won't roll any more of those, but we still need to do 2 more checks to get out of here, to pass through this hex. So that is a 6, which again, we see another massive dome pavilion, but we're definitely going to pass by that just due to the fact that there could be some very deadly things in there that we don't want to deal with. So let's keep rolling. And then we got the 1, which is, oh crap, the Tyrannosaurus is back. And let's say that maybe because our characters were a little bit more wary, we can do a stealth check this time. And if we can pass a DC 12 stealth check, then we can at least maybe get away this time because we're already wary of the Tyrannosaurus. And no, we do not pass. All right, so let's roll for initiative here. And we got a 2 and a 14. Oh, crap. So the Tyrannosaurus is winning initiative, and the Tyrannosaurus is going to attack. And yeah, we're we're pretty bad off here. Let's have the Tyrannosaurus roll. And ouch, that's an 18, so that's definitely going to be a hit. 2d12, so, oh man, that would be 18 damage. So we're down to 0 again. The Tyrannosaurus will attack Sting. And that's a 2, which with the bonus is going to be 10. I think that's still probably enough to hit Sting. No, Sting has 12. Okay, so you actually missed Sting. That was pretty good. And then a 6, which is going to go with the bonus of 8 is going to be 14. So he will hit Sting this time. Sting is going to go down. Yeah, tons of damage. Okay, so Sting went down. And let's do our death save roll again. So 1d4 plus con mod. So that's going to be 5 turns there. And then for Sting, 1. Okay, so Sting's got 1 chance to come back to life here. So let's go ahead and roll for Sting first. And no, Sting got a 2. So unfortunately, Sting has died. It passed away from this world. Now, Baros. Let's see, how many chances did we say that he got? I think he got 5 chances. So 11 is not going to be enough. 19, okay, that is going to be enough. So Baros is going to stabilize again back to 1 hit point. And I believe that was our last check for the day. So we are going to be able to travel into the next hex, but we will have to make a navigation check. And let's see which hex that is going to be. So we went into 3721 and we want to go to 3722. So let's make our navigation check. And we got an 11, which is going to be a 12. All right, so we did pass. And we're going to go into 3722. And the first thing we're going to want to do is camp immediately because it is now the end of the day. So it's cool and bright with clear skies, and there's a strong chilling wind rips down from the north. And this is the Fog Bank Ridge, which is difficult terrain, and the mountains are covered in thick white mist. Rising warm air from Tentacle Bay blends with magical mist to confuse and divert travelers. Uh-oh. All right. So we're going to immediately camp here. And we, what are we going to do with Sting? I guess Sting, we're going to try to carry him. So we're going to have to drop, we're going to drop our grappling hook and our rope and the 55 gold. So we're just down to 100 gold. And we're able to carry Sting. And we'll still get to use the items that Sting had on him as well, which is going to be the rations and torch, because we are carrying him. So Sting is going to be 3 slots here. And I think we're still going to try to take Sting to his village. And I don't know, maybe something can possibly happen if we take him there. But we will cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, right now we're going to camp. We're going to use a torch. We'll use one of the torches that that Sting had on him. So we'll erase one of those and put his HP at 0 and put on here that Sting is dead. And yeah, so if we can camp, we can heal up. All right, so we will we'll rest through the night and wake up, and luckily we will be able to restore our hit points that's one area where ShadowDark is pretty generous, allowing you to have a full hit point recovery on a rest. And sometimes I think that's a little too lenient, but sometimes I do kind of like it. And when you're playing true solo, I actually do like that. So, all right. So we are going, when we come back next time, we'll start off in Hex 3722 and hope that things go a little bit better for us. But as with a lot of these hexes, this is a dangerous area and it is pretty untamed. So it's going to be tough to survive. So we will see what happens, and if we can make it the next few hexes over, probably going to want to hope that we find something like a village or something that can maybe help us out a little bit on our way. But certainly we are on very dangerous ground right now. So join me next time, and thanks for watching. Take care.